To start this off, Ayesha Curry again has been facing some diabolical backlash for what she said on the show. Call her daddy. Okay, so let's start off with this. So what really went viral was a small snippet when she was talking about when she looks back on her life, she felt like she didn't really want to be married yet, and she didn't really want to have as many kids as she has now. She just wanted to be able to live her life, and it kind of all just happened so fast that when she looked back, it's like, wow, I am a grown woman that has been working for my kids and my husband and putting everything that I truly wanted to do with my life on the back burner, because of she said that she's wanted to be a career woman. She had the aspirations to go be a go-getter because she's always been like that. And honestly, I feel that. And now that she looks back in her life, it's like something seems to be missing, and that sent the whole internet on an uproar. And honestly, I have a couple things to say about it. To start off, it feels like once every 7 months there's an Ayesha story talking about how I just don't like my life right now. And I find it so disingenuous for the amount of lacking of PR training that really could be used in situations like this. There's a video that was going viral recently of her gesturing to take off her ring and things like that. And it's a lot. It's definitely a lot. But back on the story, I feel like what is really missing from this whole conversation is the combination of nuance alongside not trying to put your own feelings and your own livelihood inside the shoes of another person. Because it feels like the way people are responding, it's as if they had the choice. And honestly, it doesn't help that it's Steph, because he's one of the most beloved athletes of all time. Honestly, he might genuinely be top 10, and by the time he retires, and by the time that he actually does retire, he'll end up probably being around top 5, if y'all like it or not, in his selected path of being an NBA basketball player. And that is a huge mountain to get to, and to be able to reach the peaks of your career and being like, oh yeah, no, I'm that guy. It does overshadow everything else that's around him. It's kind of hard to be the wife of, Michelle Obama has said this too, where it's difficult to be the wife of the man that is doing everything, that is the light of so many people, that is the quote unquote head honcho for a lot of folks. And it gets to the point where trying to branch off and do your own thing feels like a stab. Branching off to do your own thing, the public eye of it all seems like you are stabbing him on the back for not being a good little wife that wants to stay at home and have kids and be the housemaker, which is honestly a double-edged sword because of the type of life that they are quote unquote given, which I feel like is especially when you've been planning and preparing for the life that you wanted for yourself. If that's not just studying and taking the test and meeting the right people and shaking the right hands and living the right life and being able to put yourself in the position to actually accomplish the things that you want in this life. And then you have to look back and be like, you have to quote unquote give it up for the existential greater good of the love that you're in. And that's kind of the weird thing that comes with love, because of first is me, and then it's me and you have to put this thing together to be able to make it work. And then you turn around once you have kids, and then you look around and now you force yourself to be pushing it on them. My life is now for them and of them. And honestly, that's just how it goes, because you've seen parents, you've seen people where it's like, wow, I just hate the fact that I have kids because of a part of me died, or the part of my ambition died because I had to put everything on the back burner for these children. That's honestly why it feels so depressing when you hear older parents where it's like, yeah, no, I sacrificed literally everything. And then you turn towards the moms of it all. It's like, yeah, no, they literally sacrificed their body to be able to have this kid, where they literally sometimes will never feel the same way like they did pre having the child. And that does this And that rewires the way that you see things, because it's like, wow, I could have been this, but now I've been forced to stay here. And it's not that I hate my kids. It's like, the life of myself had to die for these kids. Point blank, period, right? And especially in the context of like the world that we're living in and the society at large, it kind of penalizes you for wanting to be able to grow your own thing instead of putting that on the back burner for the family aspect of it all. And that's not the life that folks want for themselves, especially if you've already been a high, not just a high earner, just a high ambitious, motivated individual where it's like, oh yeah, no, everything I wanted in life, I went and I got that. Like, that's like, what are we talking about? Especially for folks who it's like, there's never been a time when they had to wait hand on feet for another individual. Why would they start now? So now it's a concerted effort to lower yourself to be able to like meet the societal needs of everybody else. And it kind of reminds me that people, more times than not, when they do hear stories like this, they are so quick to put themselves into the individual's feet, where it's like, oh, you get this mega mansions, oh, you dating this beautiful light skin, oh, they're just great, you have great kids, you have healthy kids, you have a fantastic life, and you still get to do your own cool things here and there. But why do you want more than that? That is the American dream. That is the goal of life. And it's difficult for people to recognize that's not the goal for all life. That's not the goal for everybody. Not everybody has those same wants and same needs. And people forget that money will not be the thing that truly gets you happy. That money will not be the thing that truly makes you happy. And then you look around when you actually start testing that, because I could sit here and tell you, oh, if I were to get 100,000, 200,000, I'll just be fantastic. I will be above the moon, because I will tell you this right now. I would be. If I had some extra bread, I truly would be. And it got me thinking. It recently got me thinking. It got me thinking about the idea that money moves people in ways that people cannot even fathom, right? It changes the way that you're able to interact with the monotonous nature of life and being able to recognize what are truly my problems. Because if you were to ask the average person right now about their problems, majority of the time, it will stem from finances, right? And it's hard to tell people that literally, if I gave you an extra $1,000 this month, your life would not be fantastic at this point, especially when nearly, 70% of Americans right now as we speak cannot afford. They could not afford for their car to break down. And even more, could not afford to be out of work for 2 weeks. Zero savings. Not zilch, not nada. If they don't go to work this week, they are hungry for the next 5 weeks. So when you are on social media and you see someone being like, oh yeah, no, I'd rather work more, I feel like I'm just missing something, and they are able to just flaunt the excess of life and money that they have, it does make you look at them and be like, man, shut up. And honestly, I feel like when it comes to money, because I think about it for billionaires, right? What is it that pushes them to like continuously like want more? Because like you're worth more money than a human could realistically ever spend. You're worth more money than 5 generations of people could possibly spend. So what is it that like pushes you? And I feel like this is the same idea, where it's like, no, it's not the money that pushes them anymore. It's the fact that they're able to work on their passion. It's the fact that they're able to do a thing that they actually like doing, or a thing that genuinely motivates them to be like, oh yeah, no, I could win the day if I go to work and dominate. I will be great. I'll be grand. I don't get any more dopamine from the more money I get. It's all the same. Because I know we've all heard studies of after like 80,000, or what is it? I think it's like $75,000. Your happiness is like, it doesn't really like improve that much, which leads you to the problem of excess. Because of, you can buy a nice car, right? But how different is a McLaren and a Porsche 911? How different is a Range Rover and a G-Wagon? How different is going to Ruth Crisp and going to Nobu? And what is truly the difference if you were to fly to Myrtle Beach and fly, what's another really good, Flight of Jamaica or something like that? Vacation is vacation the same way dinner is dinner. Extravagance doesn't change much after a point. Driving fast cars can only do so much for you when all you're driving is fast cars, because you have nothing to compare it with. And a lot of the want that individuals truly strive for stems from the place of, well, I'm more so comparing it to the place that I am now. Because like, well, I mean, I drive a Honda Accord, but I would really love a Porsche 911. Like that would be fantastic. That would blow my brain away. What I would do. So it makes sense to want things when you do not have it, but once you start to really grasp those far off wants that you've been preaching all your life, that these are the things that you should want. You should want the bigger house, the faster car, the extra vacations. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's more so experiences is more important than the actual physical thing that you are gaining, because there's this lacking of growth that comes from only taking these materialistic things, and those are the only things that are pushing you. And honestly, I think this whole conversation stems from the idea that people do not like hearing rich people complain. And honestly, I do not blame you. Especially in the world where if your biggest problem was you never got a chance to like self-actualize, but you're able to get not just your needs met, but you're able to get your wants met as well. It's hard, especially right now when SNAP benefits and people's insurance and people's homes are just being removed from right underneath them. It's really difficult to be able to have that type of empathy, to be able to reach out and be like, well, I get where you're coming from. It's, yeah, you know what? I would be upset if I'd never really got a chance to really chase my dream.